What is up, RotoGrinders? 2 hours of nonstop NBA DFS conversation starts right now. Very big boy slate of the season. Of course, there was a two-gamer, a little appetizer, wet the peak last night. We took down a little baby GPP. Tim, myself, Tasteful Tides, Tim Buell. You got us for the next hour and change. Notorious jumps in here, as well as Beermakersfan jumps on around 6:10, 6:15. Chief Mineralogist Kevin Roth holds it down, taking you guys all the way up to 7 o'clock. Do it that like button as you're jumping in the door. Subscribe so you know when we go live. It's also a Wheel Wednesday, as you see on the scroll. Producer Steve, feeling generous, wants to give away a free week of RG Premium. All you got to do is jump into the Discord channel, rotogrinders.com/Discord, into the live stream chat channel. Hit the avatar under Steve's post. He will take your name and throw it on the wheel. We're going to spin that wheel at 6 o'clock. If we get 100 likes, spinning that wheel twice. And it's not just for basketball. It's all the bells, all the whistles, all the sports, football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Hey, hockey. How about hockey, Tim? How'd those Bruins do last night, Tim? I didn't say it to you just yet.
It's not great. Jeremy Swayman, a lot of us down in the NHL streets last night, for sure.
I was told goalies don't matter in hockey. I was told that the goalies don't really matter, but
they matter. They matter if they do badly. They do matter. Yeah.
Tim, 12 gamer. Not a lot of time for pleasantries. I want to be pleasant. I want to have pleasantries. I want to say hello and say what's up and see how you're doing. And I want to check in on your dogs. I know we heard one of them, snoring a little bit pre-show. But it's a 12 gamer. It is a big boy slate. We got an hour and 10 minutes till we yield to crunch time. There's a lot going on. We'll do a little bit of an overview, and then we'll go kind of team by team, general thoughts. Of course, Kat, welcome to the NBA. The NBA season doesn't officially start until we have somebody kind of ruled out and then ruled in and then doubtful and then questionable. It appears that Kat is going to be playing tonight as PJ Washington. PJ Washington is 3K on DK. And if you look at our lineup HQ tool, he's not 6X projected. He's 9X projected when you're 3K. It's not that hard to get the 9X. The biggest value on the board, this is DraftKings specific. I think I'm just going to play him and move along. Now, there's plenty of value that's coming on through. More value might be coming in. And the other thing I wanted to say, Tim, and I'm going to yield. I want to get your general thoughts too. FanDuel prices are much easier to make a FanDuel lineup you like as opposed to DK without the Washington thing. The Washington thing is balancing it out. Yeah. But a lot of the DK prices are just more expensive than these guys have been traditionally. You just kind of run through it. It's like everybody seems to be like 1K more expensive than they were last year, especially the guys that were like 4, 5, 6K. All those guys seem to have jumped like 1K. The top is still the top, and they're really good value plays, but it's hard to make it work when it comes to salary. But and we'll kind of talk about this as we go through. I wish I had an example off the top of my head as far as players that typically would be cheaper. Like Alexander Sarr is 7'9". Like, how does that happen? Like what? There's some of these names like Shaden Sharp is 7'9". How did we get here? Some of these prices seem a little bit egregious. Santi Aldama, I understand why, but he's 7'5", and on FanDuel I think he's 5'3". It's just you make better lineups on FanDuel. At least that's the way I'm seeing it. With the exception of, again, kind of balancing it out unintentionally, is the 3K PJ Washington. Do you have general thoughts? I know it's a lot, but is there anything you want to hit on before we dive in and do a little game-by-game deal?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of volatility tonight when it comes to minutes. Like, we're just not going to know exactly what these teams want to do for a couple more weeks. So if you want to lean into that tonight, I would expect a lot of, variance there in terms of like your bankroll. So I personally am going to take it a little bit easier tonight in terms of what I'm risking on DK and FanDuel, just because I feel a little bit, just like unsure. And I think some of these teams are actually a little bit unsure. So about what they exactly want to do with minutes here. So I'm just taking it a little bit easier in terms of what I normally would play in a given night.
Couple other guys, by the way, like Cooper Flagg is 6K on FanDuel. He's like 7'5" on DK. Flagg, I think, is way too cheap on FanDuel. Osar Thompson is 5'4" on FanDuel. He's in the 7s on DK. Kind of sorting by point per dollar on DK. The only players that are above 6X, 6 times their salary. Again, PJ Washington is the goofy exception. He may not even start. It's possible he might start, but he's still projected around 30 minutes or so. close to a fantasy point minute guy. He's projected to be over 9x his salary. We've got about 27, 28 points currently. And that's basically it. And we have Williams for Brooklyn. I'm not terribly excited about that one. He's a 6x projection, but he's still minimum 3K flat. But that's it as far as players that are projected above or 6x and beyond. And FanDuel, the 6x guys are just a Flag and Grayson Allen. Green, of course, out for Phoenix. Allen expected to start against Sacramento. Grab about 30 minutes or so. But yeah, Flag, Oscar Thompson, Dante DiVincenzo. If you missed it, he's going to be the starter going forward. Mike Conley, he's old. He may or may not be washed, but yeah, DiVincenzo announced as the starter for Minnesota against Portland tonight and going forward as well. All right. Anything else you want to say? Again, chat, what's up? Join the conversation, chat. We appreciate the interaction. Hit that like button to subscribe. Turn on those notifications. We also had Giannis. Milwaukee's done this.
Yeah.
He's downgraded to probable because a couple
downgraded to probable. Yeah.
I assume he plays. I'm assuming he plays. Just kind of keep an eye on it. Ant Edwards, I assume he's going to play. He's officially questionable. Jaylen Brown, he did practice. I assume he's going to play. He's officially questionable. DeAndre Hunter's questionable. Superman Khalil Ware is questionable. He probably doesn't play. We'll see. But yeah, lots to monitor. I got my eye on the news sources here, the social media stuff, and gonna try to keep an eye on everything as we plow on through and go game by game. We're gonna start.
Did you say Towns is playing?
So it's likely he's going to play now. I think he's officially questionable.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know if you saw the update. They circled back on it. He was downgraded to doubtful according to Shems, and then now it seems like he's more likely to play, but I think he's officially questionable. But we are projecting him in. But yeah, he's kind of bounced around several times throughout the day. And let me see if I'm getting the brand new 5 o'clock NBA injury report. I'm hitting the refresh, and they're not given to me just yet. So we're still on 4:30. And according to the injury report at 4:30, Cat questionable with that quad. Mitch Robb, they're saying injury management, but I think it's just maybe an injury. He's out, and of course Josh Hart is out for New York. New York at home versus Cleveland, 228.5 is the total. It's a tight spread. The Cavs are 1.5 point favorites. They're also dealing with some stuff. Garland is out with a toe, not just any toe, but his great toe. His great toe is out. DeAndre Hunter officially questionable. Feels really legitimately questionable here with his knee. Max Strus, we're not going to see him for a while. Strus is out. He's got a foot. So moving parts, we're going to assume that Cat is in. So like when he was out, we're looking at players like Huck Porty would have been kind of somewhat interesting.
Ariel Huck Porty.
Yes. Well, who could forget Ariel Huck Porty? That's the first person we want to talk about in the season. Dancing Bear Yabusele, newly acquired here for New York. He's pretty cheap, and you're already down one big with Mitch Robb, down to several bibs against Cleveland. It's really dicey with the Twin Towers there, Allen and Mobley on the other side. How do we feel about New York and Cleveland?
Yeah, New York and Cleveland. I actually like this game quite a bit. Like you mentioned, Garland is out, so it looks like Donovan Mitchell should be getting quite a bit of work here. I don't really, these games, these teams aren't really classically high-paced teams. But I do like this matchup, and it's high and tight, right? It's a 1.5 point spread. It's a 230 total or 228 total. I do like getting to some Donovan Mitchell here. He's point guard, shooting guard eligible, so you do get that flexibility. I've heard Evan Mobley looks outstanding in camp this year. He does. He should get OG, which is not great, but that'll bring down his ownership. So I don't mind getting Evan Mobley here at 8,900. Outside of that, in terms of Cleveland, I don't really love Cleveland here. Alonzo Ball should be capped at around 20 minutes. If he's getting a few more minutes, I really like that price tag. So if you think he gets more, maybe you could take shots there in GPPs. But it's really just Mitchell and Mobley for me. On the Knicks side, assuming Towns plays, I guess it's Mikal Bridges. I got to a lot of Mikal Bridges and Sims that I ran right before the show. Sims seems to really like him at that $5,800 tag. I don't mind that. He should play a ton of minutes here. And of course, if Towns were to sit, which we'll know before lock, it's going to be an absolute value fest for New York. Yabusele and Hot Purdy would be really, really strong value plays.
Yeah, if Hunter sits, I see we have one of our tools we have here, one of the articles we have here at RG is the if-then stuff. We have an if-then if Hunter is out. We're projecting Jalen Tyson would get 24 minutes, and he would project pretty well. I think Dean Wade would get some more run. I can't imagine playing Dean Wade. Fantasy points per minute. That's all we're consumed with, right? Not all minutes are created equal. Dean Wade's minutes are created poorly. He's such a good defensive guy, low usage guy. Really can't see a scenario where he would, be useful in any capacity. Would just elevate players that shoot the ball, like Spider, Donovan Mitchell. I don't really have much else.
Even with Hunter projected in right now, Tyson is projected for close to 18 fantasy points. So that's not horrible at 3,200. So even with Hunter in, I think he projects pretty decently.
Yeah. We're going to need more than that. We talk on a big slate. I think we're going to get big scores tonight. And obviously that's just saying is median projection, and it leaves some room for, 95th percentile outcomes, things of that sort.
But like we said at the top of the show, outside of PJ Washington on DK, there's not like a ton of, I think, really, really strong value.
There isn't.
So, yeah. If you wanted to go double stud, I wouldn't mind going double stud, PJ Washington, Jalen Tyson, and GPPs. I don't think it's horrible. I'm
going to need Hunter to sit to play Tyson. That's me. Also, it's a 7:00 game. More stuff might be trickling on through. Is that something you want to commit to the first game on the slate? I don't. That's kind of where I'm at. But I hear you. And we are kind of looking for some value. And the New York stuff, I didn't really go through it because I think Cat's going to play.
We just got a notification. Cat is going to play, barring unforeseen circumstance. So Cat.
You got to add the qualifier.
I know. I love how they add stuff at the end.
Yeah, well, you never know. You got to cover yourself. But yeah, I assumed that he was going to play. Yeah, okay. That seems to be the likely scenario. Yabusele is another guy that projected pretty interestingly. Not a big 3-point guy. He's kind of a banger. Down low energy guy. He would have been really interesting if Cat sits, but they need his girth. They need his size here against Mobley and Allen. But I'm not sure if I'm getting there again. Early game, he's fine. We saw him have some big games last year for Philly, but that was mostly when Philly was completely depleted. Okay, let's talk about Brooklyn. Brooklyn and Charlotte, 228.5 is a total. Charlotte is a 6-point favorite. We're not going to say that a lot this season. Charlotte is 6-point favorite against anybody. We'll see the debut of Con Knippel. We're expecting him to start alongside Miller and Ball and Bridges. What's interesting here is that we're projecting Kalkbrenner to start, and this is another one of those things that I don't know. You gotta project somebody, and like you said before, I kind of touched on it. Our projection team is awesome. They're very, very good at what they do. They're dissecting and breaking everything down, but this is the time of year where you have a little bit of incomplete information. So it's just the guesswork is a little bit trickier. It's educated guesswork, but it's still guesswork. I think there's a chance that Diabate, the veteran, starts here for Charlotte. Wouldn't surprise me. On the other side, Brooklyn, just an absolute disaster. MPJ is over here. You got to imagine his, with Jokic not getting in the wide open threes, you got to imagine his metrics are going to drop, but probably going to be asked to take several more shots. The most interesting play to me in this game, and I'm curious your thoughts. Well, if Kalkbrenner starts, I'm interested. I don't know.
I was just going to say he's my favorite play if he starts. Yeah.
So I don't watch college basketball, but I was looking at his numbers. I was looking at what he did. Really good blocks guy. He scores and he rebounds.
Yeah.
And so he looks pretty interesting. He looks like a guy. It was like 17 and 10 or something like that with 3 blocks or so. Is what he averaged at. I think it was Creighton that he went to. I think Claxton's really interesting too. I can't remember the last time like centers versus Hornets was not a cheat code. That was like always a thing. Williams is gone. Richards is gone. And now they have Kalkbrenner and Diabate, and the Plum Dog is still somehow there. Or is this a different Plum Dog? This is Mason Plumlee. Claxton, how many minutes is he going to play? Because if they push him to 30, if you tell me he's going to get 30 minutes like Claxton, but are we tanking right at the gate? These are two teams. These are two teams that one win might matter later on in the season. Where do you have Brooklyn and the Hornets?
Yeah, even if Ryan Kalkbrenner doesn't start, Do you think he'll still play 20 minutes?
Maybe. Yeah, it might be like a 24-24 type split. But the thing is, are we projecting Plumlee as well? Or are we going to do like a three-headed monster thing? Although monster is probably not the right word. Just three different dudes playing center for Charlotte. They're probably giving some hedge minutes, right? Yeah, Plumlee's getting 5. Cochrunner 20. And we're giving Diabate 24. Yeah, so that essentially adds up the 48 at the 5. I think again, Cochrunner is interesting. I'm not going to pretend to know much about him, but it looks like a guy that's going to score well when he's out there. I just don't know how much he plays. Throw him in your pool. I don't know how much we need it. I don't know. I don't have a good take on it, but he definitely projects as a guy that looks like he has potential. He's 3-2 on DK, center and center only.
Yeah, I have a ton of interest in him, especially if he starts at 3,200. Should be a really, really strong play. Love the Claxton call on the other side. Cam Thomas should get summer at point guard today, which I absolutely love at 7,600. I love him for GPPs. I know it's early in the show, but he might be like my, hot take guy of the day.
Okay.
Because I think he's got a huge ceiling here. If he does get run at the point, that'll help him with some of those peripheral stats. He can score, right? So 7,600, I think he can crush that price tag. Not really huge on any of the other Brooklyn pieces outside of Claxton. And I'm not really getting to many of the Hornets outside of Cotbrenner. I think really that'd be it for me. I do always like Brandon Miller, but I don't love this matchup.
I'm getting the business here in chat. It's like Dean's hot take. I don't know. Look, here's the thing. It's important to know what you know, but it's also important to know what you don't know. And but sometimes it's important to embrace the unknown. What we do know is it's been reported that apparently Huck Porty is going to draw the start alongside Cat, the two bigs here, Mobley and Allen. I don't think I'm playing Huck Porty. I know he's 3K and he's a center starting. He seems like a guy that's going to kind of disappear in this game. That's my. I think Yabusele is going to play more minutes. That's sort of my thought process.
I would play Yabusele and Cotbrenner over him, definitely.
That's my mindset as well. But I just wanted to pass along. Again, he's going to play alongside Cat. Huck Porty does not seem like a guy that I'm necessarily excited about to get to. He is 3K Stoneman. Did you mention LaMelo? Sure. If he's
you can always
sure.
include him, but like I feel like I don't really love him for like 3 max or single entry stuff.
If you play Cam Thomas, maybe you want to run back somebody on Charlotte. Again, Claxton, I think we're projecting, I want to say 28 minutes. I got to give it a refresh because our projection team is constantly updating stuff. But last I thought, I think it was 28 minutes. So they're kind of baking in, the idea that they don't push him too hard. Let's see. I think it's 28, right? Yeah, 28. And even at 28 minutes, he projects well. I think he's got a decent shot to get you a cheap double-double at 5.5 on DK. Love the matchup here against Charlotte. Historically, I see no reason to get away from it, but it's just a matter of
I got to 24% Nick Claxton and Sims. I got to 20% Zaire Williams and Sims. I don't know if I want to play Zaire Williams. I know he's the stone man. I don't really want to play him, but I do like Claxton quite a bit. So I'm definitely getting overweight him in Sims right now.
Yeah. If you're running a bunch of lineups, you need a 3K player, sure, whatever. That's fine. You can throw him in the mix, but what are we really expecting out of him? Brooklyn, their rotations seem like one of the more harder ones to predict. A lot of guys probably in the mid-20s. Motivation's unclear. We are giving 23 minutes to Williams. Like he's an 18-point median projection at 3K. It's not exciting. It's not exciting at all. And there's going to be some volatility, I imagine, from, night in, night out. Are we projecting 11? How many players are we projecting here for Brooklyn? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're projecting 12 because, and like some of these guys might not get in there, but it's going to be kind of a mess, I think. That's not a hot take this season. Okay. Tim, third game, the last game amongst the early 7 o'clock games. Miami Heat, Battle of Florida. They're in Orlando. Listen to this total, 215.5. That is paltry. The Heat are 9-point dogs. Debut here for Desmond Bane. Love Desmond Bane. Miami is without their best player. Well, arguably their best player. Their best, shot creator. Let's say that. No Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero out with an ankle. He's going to be out till Christmas. They don't really know. It's kind of dicier. They know, they're not saying. Yakachonas, the rookie that we're kind of excited about down here, is not playing either. As far as and Jovic expected to play with his back. They just extended him to a nice little contract here. Good for him. I'm not sure if it's good for Miami, but we'll see. Everybody gets paid. He got like 4 years, like $80 million or something like that.
They get these humongous contracts, like huge for these like average role players.
Yeah, pay the stars. The stars give them whatever they want, but like these guys, exactly. Jovic is very replaceable. But and also Khalil Ware, Superman Khalil Ware is questionable with an ankle. We are projecting him to start alongside Bam. Always curious to see how much they play alongside of each other. I think Bam's ceiling would increase if we have Ware out, but and we are projecting Davion Mitchell to start. Wouldn't shock me if Drew Smith starts. And Drew Smith starts and Mitchell comes off the bench and still plays more minutes. I mean, I say all this, but what I'm really going to say is debut for Normal Powell as well. Shout out Normal Powell. I don't really have a lot of excitement for this game. Do you have anything that you're enthused about when it comes to the Heat and the Magic?
This is what they call a catch-up game, Dean.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely. Outside of Davion Mitchell, I am getting some to him in Sims. Assuming he starts. If he doesn't start, I'm not going to be playing him. I'm getting to like no Magic in Sims right now, like at all. I have no Orlando pieces I would even consider. I think is Suggs questionable, right?
He's expected in. He's expected to play. Yeah, he was available. He's got a knee. Kind of surprisingly, people were not expecting him to play, but Suggs is expected to play. Suggs, Bane, Wagner, the Franz variety. Paulo Banchero and Wendell Carter Jr., your expected starters. Yeah, if Suggs was out, Tyus Jones would have got some extra run.
Right.
But really, I have a hard time getting enthused. And I wouldn't expect we're pushing Suggs too much this game. What is our projection for Suggs? I don't think it's very high, minutes-wise. Probably the high 20s. Oh, 21. Yeah. Anthony Black is still there. Jones at 20. None of this is appealing to me. If you want to pay for the studs, if you want to pay for like a big Banchero game or Wagner, I don't think those guys get owned much at all. I like Bam a little bit more if we lose Khalil Ware, which I think there's a decent chance we lose Khalil Ware. Just gotta keep an eye on that.
Where's in?
Well, look at that. I've never got actually. It's so fast. Just right away.
OG Anunoby, game time decision.
Why wouldn't he be? Well, why wouldn't he be a game time decision?
Did he have I must be missing a couple of these injury reports because did he have a status before that, or is that just like
he had? He was officially probable on the injury report, probable with an ankle. An ankle.
So they didn't downgrade him or anything. Okay.
Well, they're calling him game time. He was on the injury report per the NBA. Let me see if we have a 5 o'clock injury report. They usually I don't know why I'm. You know what it is? It's every hour. So I don't know why I'm trying to get the 5 o'clock one. Yeah, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30. 5:30 it comes on through. So, yeah, a little bit out of practice is what it is as far as their.
Yeah, me too. It seems like.
I forget. I don't know why I was thinking every half hour. That seems less efficient. But, yeah, it's every hour. You go to the NBA official website, and that's where you get the injury report. Of course, there's news dropping, on Twitter, X, things of that sort throughout the day as well. But, yeah, we're done with Miami and Orlando. Moving on, especially with Khalil Ware.
Yeah, we not much to talk about with that game.
All right, Raptors and the Hawks. It is high, 236.5 is the total. Atlanta is a 6-point favorite as far as who's in and who's out in this one. Toronto pretty healthy. There's no Jacoby Walter. That's not a big deal. Colin Murray-Boyles also out. I believe Atlanta is clean. I think their injury report is clean. I don't think they have anything going on. Atlanta, to me, seems like a team that could be pretty interesting this year with in a down East. In the offseason, I did get a little futures on Atlanta winning the Eastern Conference. Got a good number. I don't think it's going to happen. But, I got a good number. That's all. You get a good number and you can play results. You can hedge, that kind of thing. Assuming Porzingis is healthy and he looked good in preseason, Porzingis, Jalen Johnson is back. Ricochet is going to take a step forward, theoretically, after his rookie season. Love Dyson Daniels, an excellent role player that can, his defense is spectacular. What do they call it? The Great Barrier Thief. There you go. I couldn't think of his nickname there for a second. He's from Australia, and he's good at stealing the ball. And then there's Trae Young. There's Trae Young there for Atlanta. Toronto, man, we're going to see the debut of Brandon Ingram. They traded for him in the middle of the season last year. He never played a game for him. They paid him a bunch of money. Good for him. I'm not sure if he helps you win, but good for him. They've committed a lot of money. Toronto has spent lots of money to get the 8 seed going forward for the next 3 or 4 years, if they're lucky. Quickly, Barrett, Ingram, Barnes, and Pirtle. Where do you see this game, the Raptors and the Hawks?
This should be a really, really fast-paced game, a really great game for fantasy points. I think they did a really good job of pricing Toronto here. Not a lot of value. I do love Ingram. I like Barrett as well. I really like Porzingis on the other side. 7,300 seems way too cheap for this matchup. He's power forward center eligible. We have him projected for 35 fantasy points right now. I think he exceeds that. I think that price is way too cheap for this matchup. So I think he's a fantastic play. Only projecting for 5% ownership. I love that in GPPs. I think he crushes here. So I really look for Porzingis. He's my favorite play from this game. My favorite play from Atlanta, definitely. I don't mind running it back. Yeah, I don't mind running it back with some Ingram or some Barrett. I'm not getting to any Scotty Barnes, no Jakob Poeltl for me, no Quickly for me either. So I think it's really just Ingram Barrett on the other side.
If there would be an angle I would work in, it'd be like Quickly probably gets Trae Young's defense, but he's 7-1.
Yeah, he's 7-1.
Ingram's back.
With Ingram on the court. Scotty Barnes can play point too. I mean, it's kind of weird. I don't really like Quickly today. I get what you're saying, though, with Young, but I don't know. I would prefer just going to Ingram here.
I'm saying it, but not really saying it. I'm just saying if I had to pick somebody, it's probably Quickly, but I just hate that price. And if you can't tell, I don't like the construction of this Toronto Raptors team. I think is terrible, and they've committed like the next 4 years to it. So I don't know if TJ's hanging out there. You got the Blue Jays, TJ. If nothing else, the Blue Jays are doing some things. You have some fun there in the World Series, but I really do not like this Raptors team going forward. And Porzingis, he ended the season so strangely last year with his illness. By all accounts, he's over it. That month-long illness, he was so horrendous in the playoffs, but he seems fine now. And I think
he was playing all summer in Europe.
Yeah. The whole thing was really, really strange. Yeah. He had like the Monstars stole his ability kind of. That's how he looked like the end of last season. It was really, really bad when they rolled him out there. One thing to keep an eye on that I'm keeping an eye on here is the splits as far as Kungwu and Porzingis and how much they overlap. Because we are projecting interest like more than 48 it's more than we're projecting them to play alongside each other at least 6 or 7 minutes to overlap. We're projecting Porzingis for 29 and a Kungwu for 25, which again, by the way, I don't want to keep hammering the same point at home, Tim, but a Kungwu is 6'9" on DK. That's not nice. 6'9" for a Kungwu? Come on, what are we doing here? Maybe if Porzingis is out and we're going to get 30 minutes out of a Kungwu, but some of these prices just seem a little bit goofy, a little bit overpriced. And again, that's why PJ Washington is your friend on DK. All right. Next game up, it's Philadelphia. Philadelphia taking on Boston. 229.5 is the total. Boston is a 4.5-point favorite. If you missed it, I assume you're aware. You, the generic you, I know you know Tim, but Tatum, of course, I don't want to say he's done for the year. It seems like he might come back at some point with his Achilles, but he's out for a long time. Jaylen Brown officially questionable with that hamstring. I think he's going to play. He did practice. Philadelphia, Paul George. Are you sitting down? Paul George is out. He's got a knee. He's not playing basketball tonight. Despite he did go through practice, but he's not playing. No Jared McCain. No Watford. No Embiid even on the injury report. Not even making an appearance. Not even sniffing the injury report. One difference, by the way, FanDuel and DK is Embiid is much more palatable. He's 8-7 on DK, and he's like 10-5 on FanDuel. It's really hard to tell yourself a story on FanDuel for Embiid. So You know what? I'm going to throw it to you, and I have a take in this game. But your thoughts. I'll let you get in first. Boston and Philadelphia.
Yeah, just real quick, we do have an if then with Jaylen Brown. If you were to sit Derek White, it would be a fantastic play at 8,300. But right now, assuming Brown plays, I'm not getting to much Boston at all. I am getting to some Derek White even with Brown in, but really not that much. So I'm pretty much out on Boston. Philly, they're certainly not simming very well. I don't think this is a very good matchup. I don't mind that price on Embiid. 8,700 seems really, really nice. I'm worried they baby him here just because it's opening night. So I'm really not getting much at all of this game. What about you, Dean? What's your hot take? I'm not seeing it.
So I did want to say from the start, I should have said this at the top of the show, but all island games, everybody playing today, not playing tomorrow, didn't play yesterday. So we don't have to worry about that. Boston, obviously they're without Jason Tatum, not just Tatum, but, they traded away Drew Holiday. Al Horford's gone. Luke Cornett left. I'm missing somebody else. Porzingis no longer here. They're going to be undersized. And what Boston's going to do, and they showed this in preseason, they're going to play fast, and they're going to shoot a historic amount of three-point shot attempts. Nobody shot more three-pointers in preseason. They had the sixth fastest pace in preseason. And if you're playing against Philly, don't you have to test the conditioning of Embiid? They're going to be flying. They're going to be flying, and they're going to push Embiid. They say Embiid's in better conditioning, than he was, best that he's been in a while, I suppose. He slimmed down to some degree. But I really, really like the Boston pieces. Of course, if Brown doesn't play, then it's Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser gets interesting. But I assume Brown's going to play. This is another one depending on where you're shopping because Pritchard is 6'9" on DK, and sure, he can hit 7 threes. That's something he can do when he can get there. On FanDuel, he's like 5'5". Love him on FanDuel. Now, the scoring system is better for DK, but again, the price is really palatable. I really like Derek White. Derek White's he's going to be probably behind Brown, but White's another guy. Well, I think he averaged 21 and 7 in the preseason. He's going to take a step forward. He has to. They're going to play super fast here against Philly. The bigs, I don't think I'm messing with it tonight. There's too many guys. We're expecting Cueto to start. It could be Chris Boucher, maybe. Imagine Embiid versus Boucher. He will just throw him all over the place. Boucher is like a rail. But like Luka Garza, maybe they start Xavier Tillman. Do not play any of those guys. That's I'm not at least. I'm not really taking a stand. I like the shooters. The shooters for Boston. Derek White's my favorite. Probably my favorite tournament play on the slate. I really like Pritchard specifically on FanDuel. Certainly go play him on DK. Best play point per dollar on Philly is the rookie VJ Edgecombe, who played a ton of minutes in preseason. He looks like a pretty decent price. I don't know if I'm playing Embiid on DK, but if I am playing him, that's where I would play him. I could not get there.
Do you think?
But
how many minutes do you think Embiid gets? Do you think they'll
30?
baby him to start the season? Okay,
I think 30 is a good number.
Yeah.
I think that's where we're projecting for. Yeah, 30. I did want to see, is this the national TV game? You get a couple extra seconds for national TV when it comes to the commercials. I think it's like an extra minute or so every commercial break, and Embiid's the guy that can use it, right?
Yeah, Cavs Knicks are on ESPN.
Okay, I figured it was one of those two. Okay, Cavs Knicks is ESPN.
And then Spurs Mavericks.
Yeah, that's a fun one. Cooper Flag
that's
versus
a really fun one.
Versus Wemby. Omir in chat's asking about Boucher. Look, he's 5K. Like Chris Boucher again. I don't want to keep saying the same point. How in the world is Chris Boucher 5'4"? Like, what are we doing?
Weird pricing.
I can't do that. Cannot get there. And I think they're going to kind of. What is our projections? They're median projections, but when it comes to the bigs, we're giving Garza 11, Cueto 23, Boucher 19, Tillman 8. It's all nonsense. I can't isolate one. And if anybody was 3K, sure, then we're having a conversation. Cueto, you remember last year, he was 3K at some instances, and we definitely used him. But I don't know if anybody necessarily separates from the pack, and they're going to play small, and they're just going to fire a bunch of threes. Some might go in. If they miss a bunch of threes, it's going to be a blowout. But it's going to be high variance when it comes to Boston. But I will be playing. White's probably going to be in my main lineup almost definitely. Okay. Klingon or Claxton, Don Yeezy wants to know.
Question
in
saw
chat.
that in chat.
I think it's Claxton.
I think
Klingon's tricky. Oh, well, go ahead. What do you?
Well, I think it's Claxton too. I mean, you are saving 600.
I'm a little bit concerned about Klingon because Portland, I believe they were the fastest paced team in preseason, and I'm not sure if you've seen Donovan Klingon. He's a big boy, and he tries, he hustles, he gives a lot of effort. Very handsy too, a lot of fouls, but I don't know if he can keep up with the pace of this team. Is sort of my thought. By the way, shout out to the Blazers. Everybody's got to be like Portland. The Blazers yesterday gave us their starting lineup today. Unheard of in the NBA streets. Like, what do they do? I mean, the Minnesota, the Timberwolves, they were planning all day long. They've been planning, how do we stop Jeremy Grant? I don't know how we're going to stop Jeremy Grant. And then Portland just goes ahead and tells them, like, you know what? We're not going to start Jeremy Grant. And it saved the coaches so much time in Minnesota. Drew Holiday, Sharp, Kamara, newly paid Kamara, Denny Avdia, and Klingon, the starters for Portland. Okay. Anything else as far as Philadelphia and Boston, or shall we scoot along?
We can scoot.
Okay. It's the Pistons and the Bulls. It's high. It's tight. 236.5 is the total. Detroit is a 2.5 point favorite on the road here. Who's in and who's out? Well, Jaden Ivey's not playing basketball tonight for Detroit. For Chicago, big one is Kobe White. Kobe White going to be out for a bit with that calf. No Zach Collins as well. Ayodasumo. It's another one. Ayodasumo looks really, really – no. Ayodasumo. No. Why am I saying Ayodasumo? Bazelis. Bazelis is the guy that's expected to take a pretty big leap this year. Asar Thompson, 6'8" on DK, like much cheaper on FanDuel. Not just much cheaper on FanDuel. He's more palatable. He's more suitable for FanDuel. What does Asar Thompson do? Well, he doesn't shoot threes, so he's not great. He doesn't shoot them immensely. He's not spectacular at it. He's capable. He'll shoot them. But it's not necessarily his game. But he is a stocks guy. That's when you get the optimal game out of Asar Thompson. He's got 4 or 5 or 6 stocks. And he's actually one of those guys, I was checking it out before the show, fired up the old Cord IQ, and he does average more. Most guys average either the same or less, but more FanDuel fantasy points per minute. So his game is better, more suitable for FanDuel, and his price is more suitable as well. And I don't know why I didn't mention Cade Cunningham, who's also awesome. How do you feel about the Pistons and the Bulls?
Yeah, this game is fantastic. Very, very similar to the Toronto-Atlanta game. Should be getting pieces of this game in your 3-max single-entry contest. Definitely large amounts of your portfolio in 20 sets and 150 sets. I like that Thompson call on FanDuel a lot. Bazelis at 5,900, I think, is a really, really strong play. He's not projected for a lot of ownership right now. This game outside of Cunningham seems like it's a lot lower owned than I thought it would be. At first, I thought Giddey was too expensive, and then I remember Kobe White's out at 9,200. This guy can fill up the stat sheet.
Triple double potential.
Yeah, I mean, in Noto's article, he said that the average 1.46 DK points, which is really, really solid. We have projected for 45 fantasy points as a median. So I really like that. He's not going to be chalky. He's only projecting for around 10% right now. So I don't mind. I don't mind getting to Giddey at 9,200. And it just doesn't seem like people are even playing that. The bigs here, Vucevic and Duren, I don't have a ton of interest in. If I had to pick one, I guess it'd be Duren. But I think there are better centers on the slate here. So really on Detroit, it's Cade, Thompson on FanDuel, and then the Bulls, it's Giddey for me and Bazelis.
I don't want to gotcha here, Tim, but how old would you guess Jalen Duren is? We used to do this with Jason Tate.
Man.
How old would you guess Jalen Duren is?
I don't know.
I can just tell you.
23.
He's 21. It feels like he's been in the league for like 4 years.
Right. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be way off. Yeah. Okay.
He's super strong, great rebounder. I think he's still ascending. Is just kind of the point I was making. And we saw last year. Yeah. He kind of came on strong in the second half. And speaking of going the other direction, is Nikola Vucevic, every year is the year they're supposed to trade him at the deadline. They never trade him at the deadline. Maybe this is the year they trade him, but we care about today and today only. Well, today his price is 8.8 on DK, and I cannot talk to that. Cannot have a conversation with it. If I'm playing Bulls, I like Buzeos a good bit. Better price on FanDuel. Stop me if you heard that before. I like Giddey as well. If you're running maybe Rudcade and Giddey at each other. Don't mind Duran in tournaments, but again, Duran 7-7 on DK. He's another guy. Like, he's not going to make threes. I mean, he's not going to make an excessive amount of threes. When he gets there, he really gets there through the blocks. I like him better on.
And Vucevic doesn't live under the basket either. So no. I don't think he's going to get his blocks necessarily.
New Orleans and Memphis, 235.5 is the total. I'm sure you've heard this. Zion in the best shape. He might actually be the best shape of his life, like for real. They're talking about him being in good shape. Ja Morant cleared to go. I don't believe Ja played 1 minute in preseason. I'm fairly certain he did not play one preseason minute. Memphis, another one. Stop me if you heard it before. They're beat up. They're hurt. They're always hurt. Vince Williams, he's got a heel, so he can't play. Scottie Pippen Jr., he's got that great toe, so he can't play. No Ty Jerome. They paid for him, and now he's not going to be available. Big Zach Edey not available. He's going to be out for weeks at least. And Brandon Clark still dealing with that knee. So Memphis always injured. As far as the Pels, DeJounte Murray, we're not going to see him for a long time. Otherwise, Kevon Looney is not available. I don't think that matters so much. But we're anticipating Jock Landale to draw the start here for Memphis. John Morant, KCP, Wells, Triple J, Jaren Jackson. He's no longer 19. I believe he's like 24 or 25 at this point. Still very good. The Pels, Poole, Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, Zion, Yves Missi expected to draw the start here at the 5. Yeah, we're giving 31 minutes to John. I think 31 to Zion. I don't think these guys really exceed that. I guess by a minute or two they can. But that's my only issue here with Zion and Ja. Well, 32. We're giving 32 each. And I don't think they really have a chance to get 35, 36. I don't know if you need it. Kind of want it when you're paying up for these studs. Your thoughts when it comes? We're getting a big ownership tag on Zion. 8-9 and DK coming in at 24% currently.
Yeah, I mean, everything's going to go through Zion now with Murray and Ingram gone. So, or at least Murray's hurt, I should say. Yeah, so definitely Zion, I think, is really, really great play. Outside of that, though, these guys are priced way too high, in my opinion. So I don't really like Herb Jones here. I don't like Jordan Poole. Missi, I think, is way too expensive at way too strong a position. So I'm not getting any Missi. I'm getting to a little bit of Trey Murphy, but not a ton. I don't even think I'd get to that 5% mark that he's currently projected for. So it's really just Zion for me. And even then, we've already talked about some power forwards here that I like a little bit more. So I might get underweight him. I'm not saying he's a bad play because this is a really, really great game for DFS. But I think that would really be it for me on the Pelican side. On the Memphis side, it's pretty tough. I'm getting to a lot of Jalen Wells on FanDuel, at least. He's a pretty strong value over there.
Do you like it? I don't know if I like it.
I don't know. I think it's okay. I think it's okay value on FanDuel anyway. I think he's a little pricey on DK. I don't know, Dean. I think this game is priced kind of weird. Like I like other point guards more than Ja here. I think he's too expensive. I don't love Memphis here.
Yeah, Wells on is. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, Memphis on FanDuel though. I think is pretty strong. Where they're a little bit more. They're a little bit better priced. Ja is only 8,300 on FanDuel. So, like, if you're playing FanDuel tonight, Memphis is definitely in play, like, big time. But on DK, I think they're priced a little bit too high.
I like Santi Aldama a little bit. Another team we like to pick on as far as with centers. I like to pick on the New Orleans centers. Yves Missi, the defense optional. So I think Aldama's kind of sort of interesting. I went ahead and pulled up the court IQ as far as fantasy points per minute. for some of these players we're talking about. Alden was well over a fantasy point per minute. I shouldn't say well over, but he's over 1.06 on FanDuel. Wells at 0.7. So it's like he's not a great fantasy point per minute player. The usage, Tim, 16% usage last season. And like if that's going to be, and we're currently showing, let's see, I'm giving a refresh, like 28% or so for Wells. I understand, point per dollar, he projects pretty well. I just don't know if that's something I necessarily want to gravitate to. I think there's a chance Alden starts, but we're currently projecting Landell. Kind of keep an eye on that one. I do want to mention, you can get yourself some free RG premium. All you got to do is go to the Discord channel, RotoGrinders.com/Discord, the live stream chat channel. Producer Steve has a post. Just click on that wheel. He's going to take your name, throw it on the wheel, spin that wheel in about 15 minutes or so, and to give away a free week of RG premium. And I should say also, it's not just basketball, football, baseball, basketball, hockey, all the sports, all the bells, all the whistles, the optimizer, SimLabs, everything that you can think of that we have here, everything with the exception of NASCAR. NASCAR doing its own thing, a la carte. But we only have 25 hits right now on the wheel. We got to get to 100. We get to 100, we'll spin it twice. So go ahead and get that Discord channel and hit the avatar, or you can just go ahead and pay for it. You can pay for premium. How about that? If you want to get a 3-day pass, you don't want to fully commit. For a limited time, you get half off the 3-day NFL pass, access to everything you need to crush the slate, the optimizer tool, lineup HQ, player projections, NFL SimLabs, easiest way to build smart lineups, just a few clicks there. Also, Combo Pro. Combo Pro is on sale. If you like NFL, it's only $5 more for all the sports. Why not get that? Limited time for your first month. It's $79.99 for Combo Pro. That's only $5 more, again, for NFL a la carte. Do check out the links in the description. You can see all the bells, all the whistles are showing there, all the articles, too much stuff to get into. I saw Noto lurking in chat. He'll be on in about 25 minutes or so. You get all his articles, the rankings, the expert survey. Again, too many things to run down, but plenty of stuff to digest throughout the day. Anything else as far as New Orleans and Memphis, or are we moving along?
No, I think we're good.
All right, the Wizards and the Bucks. The Bucks are 119 is their team total, one of the biggest team totals on the boards. They are about 10-point favorites here. Chris Middleton revenge game for Milwaukee against Milwaukee. As far as who's in and who's out, no Bilal Coulibaly. Coulibaly is not available for Washington. We did see earlier in the day Giannis Antetokounmpo was downgraded to probable. I am assuming he plays the home opener. There's all this stuff in the offseason. He's got a back. All this stuff in the offseason about him, speculation about him getting traded. There's still some speculation out there depending on how things go, the first half of the season or so. But as things stand, Giannis should absolutely fully smash against the Wizards. The Wizards play bad. They play fast. They don't defend the rim. They don't defend. I could have just said they don't defend. That would have been a lot easier. They are a sieve for fantasy points. Giannis, in the absence of Dame, of course, Dame no longer here. They did add Miles Turner, but there's a couple 3-point shooters around him, and AJ Green and Gary Trent. KPJ will shoot some as well. They did, also a Kyle Kuzma revenge game. Totally forgot about that. But Giannis is just an incredible fantasy point minute player. It's just a matter of how long does he have to smash. Does he smash too hard where he does not get a chance in the fourth quarter? What say you? Wizards and Bucks.
Yeah, we have Giannis projected 9 points ahead of the next highest projection on the slate. He is the top overall play by far. Unbelievable matchup here. 100% playing him in cash games. I'm getting to close to 60% of him in Sims right now. So Sims wants you to play him very, very heavily here. He's projecting around 40% ownership. Absolutely love him here. Even if he doesn't get a fourth, he should get 72 points. You know what I mean? Like he should be a fantastic play. He's power forward center eligible. I love that flexibility. So, he's the don't overthink it play for me today. He's definitely going to be my single entry team. I'm probably going to lock him into 3 max as well. So absolutely love him here at 11-1. He should be a really amazing play tonight.
Hoosier saying Banner is asking about Sadiq Bey in chats.
I saw that. So Hoosier saying Banner usually plays Yahoo, and he's a negative value on Yahoo. So I don't really love him that much.
He better be $10 over there. Is he more? I hope he's not more than 10.
He's $15. I think he's too expensive. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. I don't play Yahoo officially anymore. I haven't played in a long time. But the way their stuff works typically, unless things have changed, I don't want to speak out of school, but yeah, it's the $10 guys. That's Sadiq Bey. He's a $10 guy, and him being $15 seems a little bit. That just seems unnecessary. We're projecting officially 20 points on DK for him in 25 minutes, but I just don't think it's very necessary. Okay, we have 4 games to go, Tim. Crunch time coming on in about 20 minutes or so. I think we're doing pretty all right in pace. I feel like I'm talking fast. And
did you have any interest in Washington? I don't. Are they just like a write-off for you? Just X out?
Well, I mean, one of the first things I said at the start of the show is I was pointing out the ridiculous. Alexander Sarr is 7.9 on DK. Like, what are we doing? I was kind of making the point. Like, some of these prices are just exorbitant. Middleton, I can't get excited about any of it. CJ McCollum, and this is the other part of it. I know it's opening night, but like, how much do they want to prioritize CJ McCollum, who, when the Wizards are theoretically good, I don't know when that's going to be. I couldn't tell you. But when they are, who's not going to be in that team? CJ McCollum. There's no reason to prioritize him. Like, he'll get moved at some point, you'd have to imagine. And I think it's another collection of, let's see, like, we're giving Vucevic 9 minutes, and Bagley. You got to see what you have in Marvin Bagley. Oh my God, Giannis is going to dunk on Bagley so hard. Champagny, Kisper, and it's kind of it's tough to predict. Like, the only guy projecting for more than 30 minutes right now, and again, it's really tough to project this time of year, and it's really tough to project the Washington Wizards. So hats off to the projection team. We're giving 31 to McCollum, Sarr 29, George 29, Bub 28. Middleton, 27, middle of the road. But it's just nobody really projects well. And who could you tell a story on Washington's side? I don't know. I mean, I think Middleton's got a decent FanDuel price.
For me, I was considering CJ McCollum. That price seems a little low if they could keep this game close, which is a big if. But I think he could get there if this game stays close.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, because I was trying to make Giannis lineups, and I'm just like, I don't want to force a run back. I don't think you have to force a run back. No, I'm probably not going to run back. I'm very likely not to play somebody in Washington.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Okay. Anything dropping as far as news? Jaylen Brown, game time decision. Thank you for that update. DeAndre Hunter, also a game time decision. Thank you for nothing. Nothing else going on, right? 4 more games to go. I think we have a break. Yeah, we have an hour break. That Washington-Milwaukee game tips off at 8. Not really, because the NBA lies with their start times. The Jazz are home to the Clippers. I mean, again, are the Jazz going to be tanking right out the gate? I don't know. Every loss counts. Every loss matters. Their rookie is available to play. Ace Bailey was ill. He's available to play. Yang is out. He's got a foot. He's not playing. Isaiah Collier also out. As far as the Clippers, they're old, but they are as healthy as they're going to be to start the season. The spot against Utah is awesome. Harden and Kawhi both have pretty good prices. Kawhi Leonard is contractually obligated to play basketball tonight, and he's actually going to do that. He's going to actually, live by those standards of his contract. As far as I know, he's actually going to do something for what he is compensated for. Markkanen's a little bit cheap on FanDuel. He's 6'2", but again, how much do they push Markkanen as far as the Jazz? It's probably more of a Noto thing. Noto's team. I'm sure he's got thoughts about his Jazz, but Kessler's kind of interesting, but I don't really like picking on Zubac, and he's not cheap. I don't like Utah, just as I don't think I'm buying anybody in the Jazz. Do you like anybody in the Jazz? And both Harden and Kawhi look good to me. I'm not paying 6.5 for Bradley Beal.
Yeah, I'm getting to a lot of Harden and Leonard on FanDuel. They're even better plays on the FanDuel site. Getting to some of them on DK, but they're like really, really strong plays on FanDuel. So getting to more of them over there. I'm getting to some Bryce Sensabaugh, some Walter Clayton off the bench here for the Jazz.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that those two guys are pretty strong values here, assuming nothing else opens up. So I don't mind saving some spots for those two guys in the 9 o'clock window. In terms of the actual Utah starters, not getting to a lot here. I think that they're a little bit overpriced. I don't think the matchup's outstanding. Their team total is obviously pretty dreadful here. So not getting too much of the Utah starters at all, really on either site. I'm pretty sure here. Yeah, I'm not really getting any starters on either site here.
So the Clayton thing, again, I don't want to pretend to talk about, I don't want to talk about something I don't know anything about. I don't know much about Clayton. I don't watch college basketball, but I did some digging, and good 3-point shooter in college. He is stone min. That's what makes him kind of interesting. We are not projecting him to play. No, we are not projecting him to start. He's being projected to play. We're projecting George, Bailey, Markkanen, Filipowski, and Kessler. I believe we're giving him about 20 minutes or so. I saw him popping up in some optimals, Tim. I'm not playing cash games tonight. Too many moving parts, and I have a basketball show tonight later at 8 o'clock, and I don't want to have to be fixing my cash game lineups on the fly if things go awry. So I'm sticking to tournaments, and that's that. But is he somebody you're playing? And I haven't ran the new stuff, to be honest. This is DK specific. I don't think I would play him in cash. Is he somebody you're considering?
You're talking about Clayton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be playing him in cash, and I am going to try some cash tonight. I don't currently have him. I don't mind him in GPPs though. I mean, I think you take shots on him for sure. I don't think he's super safe. I'm sure there's a lot of volatility in that projected minutes number also. So not a cash gameplay for me.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
DeAndre Hunter out.
Okay. Yeah, that seemed like a decent chance. Okay.
So we got a question. We got a question in chat and YouTube. Sorry, Dean. Would you guys skip the 7 o'clock p.m. games for news? So the 7 o'clock games.
What news are we waiting for?
Yeah. I mean, so the 3 games are Cleveland, New York, Brooklyn, Charlotte, Miami, Orlando. You should already be skipping the Miami Orlando game. So I think these games are weak enough, perhaps, that you could skip them. But
Hunter out, does that change things?
I mean, we're going to be playing a lot of Jalen Tyson now, right? I mean,
I don't know. I'm not certain. I mean, again, I think Dean Wade's going to start, and I don't want to play Dean Wade. Nothing against Dean, but it's unlikely that I get to him. I think you could play Tyson. I'm not fully confident. I want to see that starting lineup. Are they going to announce the starting lineup?
What if Tyson does start?
Then I'm interested, a little bit more interested. But I just think it's better for Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell's just going to take a few more shots. And again, we're also speaking from, to be clear, Tim, how many lineups are you making tonight? You're not making 150. Maybe you're making 5. Maybe you're making 4.
At most 3.
That's important to note. So if you're running 150, I wouldn't just not play the 7 o'clock games. If you're running 2 or 3 or 1, you probably can skip them. I see Bobby in chat. What's up, Bobby? Bobby's talking about do not skip on Brooklyn and Charlotte. Yeah.
I do like pieces of that game. I completely agree with Bobby there.
Cam Thomas, interesting. Claxton, I really want to know how many minutes he plays, but I think it's upper 20s, close to 30. I think he could be a full-on smash. We talked about Cockburner if he draws to start. Again, I personally, look, this is me guessing. I think Diabate, the veteran, gets a start, but we'll see. We're expecting Concanipple to draw a start for Charlotte, the other rookie. But it's a good question. I'm curious what our projections are going to say. We did have an if-then that did suggest Jalen Tyson projects well, but that could also change if when a new lineup comes out. Let's clean up the Clippers and Utah, and let's go ahead and spin that wheel. So, give me your final thoughts for the Jazz and the Clippers. Harden or Leonard? If you got to pick one of those two.
Probably go Leonard. But again, you can definitely play both on FanDuel, I think.
Would you play them together in the same lineup and not run anybody back? Because is Utah going to keep this game close? This is kind of my question.
I don't think you have to force a run back.
Okay. If you pick one, I think it's marketing on FanDuel.
Embiid will have a minutes limit Wednesday.
Well, no shit.
Exactly.
But it's going to be like 30, right? What's the limit?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Whatever it was, though, that was the limit.
Yeah, well, I mean, I love that. What is it? It's a secret. Is that officially a Cleveland picker saying Dean Wade will start? Is that official, or is that someone disagreeing? I think Dean Wade's going to start too, but
I haven't seen anything official.
They've done that before. They've done that, and they like his defense. He started a fair bit last year, but we got 3 more games to go. Let's spin that wheel, Steve. Let's give away some premium. What do we got? Giving the wheel award. All right, shout out to Pluck8922. Producer Steve will slide in your DMs there on the Discord. Juice you up with a week free of RG Premium. If you want, dealer's choice. If you want, I imagine it'll give you scores and odds if that is your preference. 3 more games to go. The second half of the ESPN doubleheader. Battle of Texas, the Spurs at Dallas. 223.5 is the total. Dallas is a 3-point favorite. The Cooper Flag era starts tonight. Of course, Kyrie Irving not available. Daniel Gafford officially doubtful. The other side for San Antonio, Fox out for a bit. No De'Aaron Fox. Jeremy Sohan is also out. He's got a wrist. Man, Wemby may have grown. They're saying he might be 7'6". It's insane. He's so good. What a fun game this looks like. Oh, and a reminder, you mentioned earlier in the show, PJ Washington's 3K on DK, and that seems wrong. I'm pretty sure that's wrong. We do currently have him projected to start. I think earlier in the day we had D'Angelo Russell, but I guess they bounced back and forth in that. Either way, even if he doesn't start, 3K and DK, first player you play on DK in your cash lineups. And I think in every DK lineup I make, he's going to, like, you're getting too cute, right? If you don't play PJ Washington, projected for 28, 29 fantasy points on DK, that's too good. Even if he's bad, even if he puts up like 22, that's acceptable. We can get away with that. San Antonio, Dallas, what do you got?
Yeah, like you're 100% playing PJ Washington today in cash games. He's currently projected for 80% ownership in GPPs. I'm getting to 99% of him in Sims right now. So I would be all in on him, even in a 150 set. I don't play 150, so do what you want with your own money, but he's definitely going to be in my three max stuff, 100%. I really like Anthony Davis here as well. You could definitely play them together. Cooper Flag on FanDuel is 6K. He's a really strong play on FanDuel.
Love it.
So don't forget about him over there. Don't even mind him on DK at 7,400. I think he does have some upside there. So definitely would not play all 3 of those guys in the same lineup, but I would play Washington and one of those 2 in the same lineup, definitely. On the other side of this game, not getting to as much as I thought I would. Getting to some Stephen Castle at 7K. I think he's okay. Wemby's always in play. I do think that there are plays that I like better in that same price range, though. But he's fine for GPPs. Getting a little bit overweight him in Sims right now, getting to about 14%. So not quite twice the field, but pretty close.
2 more games to knock out, Tim. Again, crunch time coming in. You got Noto, you have Roth, you got Beer, about 5 minutes or so, give or take. The Kings are in Phoenix, 229.5 is a total. Sacramento is a 3.5-point dog, in part because Domantas Sabonis is not playing basketball tonight. He is out. He's dealing with Sabonis as a hamstring, I believe. And Keegan Murray, this is to our point earlier in the show, newly paid Keegan Murray, like $140 million. You wonder why the Kings remain mediocre at best. It's things like this. Shout out to him, but get paid. But that's going to be a bad contract. As far as the Suns, no Jalen Green. We're expecting Grayson Allen to jump in that starting lineup. KD, of course, gone. Booker feels like a player that's going to have an insane usage number this year. just going to team's not going to be very good, I don't think, but Booker is going to be asked to take just a pile of shots tonight. Newly signed Russ Westbrook not starting, not expected to start for Sacramento because they have the Demolition Man, Dennis Schroeder. We are expecting Drew Eubanks to start for Sacramento. Get excited. Dario Saric also in the rotation expectation-wise, but it is weird. It is weird that Sabonis is out, Keegan Murray is out, and Sacramento still does not project particularly well. How do you see the Kings and the Suns?
Getting to practically no Kings at all in Sims, and even just looking at it, I don't really love any of the Kings either. I think they're priced a little bit too high for this matchup. They're obviously on the road here. I don't love the spot here for Sacramento, so I'm not getting to anyone here. And then Phoenix is kind of weird for me. I'm getting to a lot of Ryan Dunn, which I don't really think that I love. Getting to some Colin Gillespie as well. This seems just kind of weird that I'm getting to so much of them. But I'm not going to fade them. I'm probably going to play one of those guys in at least one of my 3 max teams, just
Really?
because they. Yeah, I think so. I might play one Colin Gillespie here, assuming we don't get any other value. So I think I might play one Gillespie here. I don't know about Ryan Dunn. Don't like that he generally starts here. I want somebody off the bench. But really, I'm not getting to any Devin Booker or Grayson Allen. I think Mark Williams is too expensive as well. So I'm not really getting to much of this game at all.
Well, Williams is a really good fantasy appointment player, but the expectation is they're going to baby him as far as his minutes. I don't think he played a minute in the preseason. I could be wrong on that. He might have played one game. We're giving him 24, but he's a really good fantasy appointment player. I do want
to clarify one thing really quick. Grayson Allen on FanDuel is fantastic at 4,300. I mean, he's almost 6K on DK, 4,300 on FanDuel though. I mean, that's like borderline cash game viable. He's a really strong player over there.
Ryan Dunn, his floor is he better make his threes. If he's not making his threes, we're in a lot of trouble. His floor could be ugly if he's not making those threes. Not a big usage guy, 0.8 fantasy points per minute. Gillespie, about a fantasy point minute guy. How many minutes are we giving him, Gillespie? What's our minutes projection here? We're talking about him hitting some stuff.
19.
19.
Yep.
Oh, that seems so fragile, doesn't it?
We're giving him a little bit over a point per minute.
Yeah, that's where he was at basically last year. But I mean, Goodwin is lurking. We're gonna get Point Booker, right? So I guess Gillespie's gonna play every minute Booker doesn't play, I think, and then a little bit of overlap is kind of what we're seeing here.
I think so.
I don't know. I mean, okay. The Hammer game. I guess there's 2 games at 10 o'clock. If we're gonna pick one as a Hammer game, I don't know. Neither one. It feels like a chisel game. You tell me. Minnesota and Portland. 221.5 is the total. Portland is like a 4-point dog here at home. Again, shout out to the Blazers for giving us their starting lineup yesterday. Holiday, Sharp, Kamara, Avdia, who was incredible last season. You remember Denny Avdia? He might have been like a 9 or 10K player down the stretch, and he was worth every penny. He was one of the best fantasy players the last month or so of the season. Donovan Clingan, the big boy, starting at center. Jeremy Grant, despite his confidence, what was the quote? I imagine I'm going to start. Yeah, I'm going to start. Of course I'm going to start. Well, he's not. Jeremy Grant is not starting tonight for the Blazers. Also, Dante DiVincenzo, the lineup's not officially out, but they did say DiVincenzo has usurped the old man. I shouldn't say old man. Old in basketball terms. Mike Conley. DiVincenzo is officially questionable. I assume he's going to play. I assume he plays. Jaden McDaniels, Randall, and Gobert. How are you seeing the T-Wolves and the Blazers?
I hate to disappoint the people. These are 2 really disappointing late-night Hammer games. Getting to know Portland and Sims. Getting to very, very little Minnesota. You can always play Ant, but I don't really love it here. This game is pretty dreadful for DFS. Minnesota's too expensive, I think, and so is Portland. I'm not paying $8,500 for Denny Avdia. 61 for Clingan, I guess, is okay, but there's just way better center plays. I think Shaden Sharp is too expensive. And same thing with Kamara. So really, I mean, I think this game here is really ugly, and I'm just not getting to any of it.
Yeah, a lot of people were expecting Portland to take kind of a leap this year. They got Lillard in the building. Obviously he's not going to be playing this season, or at least anytime soon. I don't think he's playing this year. Drew Holiday is a vet, and they seem to be pointing in the right direction at least. The Klingon thing, he's a good fantasy point minute player. He's handsy, and I don't know how secure those minutes are, but you got to think against the Minnesota size, they would probably need him. The other thing is their pace. I don't know if he can keep up with the pace that Portland looks like they're going to be playing at this season. Two good defensive teams as well. Just a few minutes away, Tim, from Beermakersfan, Noto, Chief Mineralogist Kevin Roth, going to be holding it down, taking you guys all up to lock for crunch time. Do it that like button, please, kindly. Take a second. Tap it, smash it, whatever your adjective of choice happens to be. Caress. If you want to caress the like button, whatever turns that thumb up works for us. Help us keep the old lights on. Tim, that's 12 games. We talked about 12 games. We did it. Not a lot of pleasantries, not a lot of nonsense, not a lot of filler. We cut the fat. But you tell me, now that we talk about the 12 games, you have a favorite play? You have a bold fade? Who's your favorite play? Who's almost definitely? You make one main lineup. Who's going to be in that main lineup? Feel free to be as ambitious as you want to be. But, and you reserve the right to change your mind.
Yeah, I'm looking pretty hard at Cam Thomas right now. I mentioned that he might play some point guard today. Love the matchup. Love the low ownership. So I really do like Cam Thomas a ton here. Same thing with Porzingis here at 7,300. Love him today. Probably going to be playing. I think I am putting in Porzingis right now into my primary team. I might just play 1 3-max team with Cam Thomas, but I might go on Porzingis here just because I really love the power forward center eligibility. I love the matchup here. I love the low ownership. So love him today in GBPs and large field and small field.
I thought this player would be lower owned, but at least on FanDuel, has this changed? I was running some stuff. Derek White. Where's Derek White as far as hitting sims, hitting everything, Tim? Because I'm seeing 13, 14% on DK at 8.3. I like him more in FanDuel because I like more in FanDuel, mostly because of the prices when you're shopping around. But again, the cheat code of PJ Washington makes things more, just makes it easier to spend up a little bit more. White.
Sorry. No, I'm sorry, Dean. 13% on DK for White and 33% on FanDuel for White.
Yeah. That's kind of like, I'm seeing White going to be hitting 7.6 on FanDuel, especially now. I assume Brown's going to play. If Brown doesn't play, this is, he's like the first or second player you put in your cash game.
I'll probably have to get off of Cam Thomas if Brown sits. Hopefully we'll get that news. Yeah.
Let's seamlessly segue. Let's go ahead. Let's do it. We teased it. It's crunch time. It's Chief Mineralogist Kevin Roth. It is the man from the six pack. It's Beermakersfan and the Notorious. We have all three, the OGs. Let's do it right now. Is this true, Roth? I was not really on. I didn't see if it happened. Derek in chat says Roth took down a GPP last night. Can you confirm or deny?
Oh, you didn't see? It's brutal. It's hard to tell you what happened.
Oh, did you not? It didn't happen, and it was like it's a disaster for like the last second or something like that.
It happened, and I had the nuts. And had I played the big tournament, I would have won $200,000.
Oh no! I'm sorry. I didn't know. Oh, so you win and you can't even enjoy it. You're not even happy.
Yeah, I dropped 325. I would have won. Literally, I would have won the $200,000 if I was in the big tournament. I would have won any tournament. I literally had the greatest lineup that could have been constructed last night, and I won $100.
Oh my God! You couldn't help yourself. You had to see would this have won? There's no upside in knowing. There's no upside in knowing you would have won the tournament.
Somebody tagged me. Someone was like, "I hate to tell you this, but," and I was like, "Oh, you son of a bitch."
And you made the lineup on the show last night, right?
I did. Well, I made maybe 4 or 5 different lineups, and I put them in various tournaments. And of course, the one that went ridiculous was the one in my lowest entry. That's how it goes. But my first big GPP takedown, there's maybe 500 people in the tournament. So I'm not going to complain about it. But man, I would have preferred the $200,000.
That is that's pretty wild. Congratulations. But
thank you.
Yeah.
In case you're curious, I did enter the big tournament tonight.
Well,
I will not make that
that
mistake twice.
Was that like the quarter arcade? Was it like a quarter into $100, something like that?
It was
Or
a dollar.
Like $1?
A dollar, yeah.
Oh man, that's yeah.
Hey, 100x. Can't complain.
Right. It's tough to complain about 100x, but man, it's tough not to.
You can complain.
Yeah. Yeah. But I really, shout out to Noto and Chop for giving great advice on the show and helping me 100x and make literally the best lineup of anyone who played DFS last night.
Yeah, for real. Shout out to you. Congratulations. Hopefully we go back to back tonight. Myself and Tim, we do appreciate y'all joining us for the first portion. Now you guys got crunch time the next 40 minutes and change. Hit the like button, subscribe, turn on notifications. Do not go anywhere. Kevin Roth, GPP winner, NBA expert Kevin Roth. Roth is taking you home. Take it away, Roth.
Good stuff as always, guys. Welcome to it. You know the deal. It's crunch time. Two of the OGs, two of the sharpest minds in the industry. Got Noto running it back with me. Noto, I mentioned you gave some really good content last night, and I saw you did really well in some tournaments as well.
Yeah, good night for me. Thanks to Chop mostly. I mean, we were talking about playing Şengün over Amen Thompson last night. And then once I saw that ownership on DraftKings, I think it was like 10% projected. It ended up being 5% in tournaments. So, yeah, that was a big one. Then Casey Wallace, not a lot of people went there even after he was named the starter. So those were kind of the two key plays for me. I could have done without the double overtime in that first game because I kind of stacked up the second one. But, yeah, good night and pumped to be on with Beer today.
Yeah, the Amen fade, which is where I was. And then my initial thought was Reed Shepherd. And Chop was the guy who was like, no, if you're not going big on Amen, go Şengün. And that eventually did it for sure. We got my guy Beer in the house as well. What's up, bud? How are you?
I'm good. I'm still devastated, Roth. I have no words. Like,
I can't believe
it's great. You won some money. We can have the silver lining, but the old why
could have
didn't
been
I
200
just
grand.
Yes. So I don't know what's worse, that or PJ Washington being $3,000 on DraftKings, but both tragic mistakes. So hopefully it's a good sign, Roth. We're on the right path already early in the season. That's good to see. So we'll get you a big one.
That's how I feel. Yeah, NBA is always good to me. It's my favorite sport, and it's just a good start to the season. We're going to keep it rolling. You mentioned the PJ Washington debacle. I'm excited about it because there are so many dudes who cost a lot of money that I want to play, and PJ Washington is helping me get there. So, of course, we will dive into all of that. And in fact, let's do it right now. Let's talk about this slate real quick in general, Beer. If you have any kind of overarching thoughts on the night, on the slate, now would be the time. If not, we'll just dive on into FanDuel.
My biggest thought is there are a lot of guys that are going to go lone tonight. That seems to be as many games as we have. I'm surprised that ownership is really congregating around certain names that people are excited about, and they're good plays, no doubt. But if I can get a similar play at 2-3% owned to your 40-50% owned play, I think it's a great night for tournaments. Cash games almost build themselves tonight. Pretty easy. I think you're going to get a lot of duplication, especially with PJ Washington. You're basically that spot is out. You're playing with 7 spots there, but I think there's a lot of good plays that are going to go overlooked tonight.
Yeah, am I crazy for wanting all the Wemby and all the Embiid and all these dudes who they can put up 80 fantasy points and they're not going to be that highly owned? Give me that.
Now, Embiid sounds like a minutes limit, so that one will pump the brakes a little bit, and it's smart of them. We got to ease them back. I'm shocked he's even playing, first of all. But,
what's the limit?
Your point.
Do I get 30?
They haven't said.
We don't know. It's just the limit.
Yeah,
it could be 45. Who knows?
All right, I may have to do a little pivoting there. Fortunately, plenty of places to pivot to.
Yeah.
Noto, anything you want to hit on, kind of the slate in general, before we start diving into site by site, position by position?
Yeah, like Beer mentioned, a lot of good plays are going to get overlooked. Kind of fun slate because we have so many unknowns, and just ownership's going to gravitate to the guys that project well. And it's going to differ based on FanDuel and DraftKings. Like last night, it was kind of the same slate on both. Tonight, not the case. FanDuel, more of a balanced approach. The value guys aren't really there. And then on DraftKings, the top 4 guys in the point per dollar in our projections are all 3K. So stars and scrubs over on DraftKings for sure. And then FanDuel a little bit more balanced for me.
Okay, very good. Well, let's jump right into it. You mentioned 2 different builds on 2 different sites. We like to start on FanDuel. Noto, we start at point guard. Take it away.
Yeah, got to wait and see if Jaylen Brown is going to play tonight. We're still waiting on that. Derek White, if Brown ends up being out, he's going to be one of my favorite plays, especially on FanDuel. The price is a little bit lower over there. And he was going nuts in the preseason. He averaged 1.65 FanDuel points per minute, which is massive for a guy like Derek White. Obviously, Jason Tatum's out. And Boston, I mean, they're not going to be nearly as good defensively this year. So I think they're going to get into some higher scoring games. I like Kevin Porter a little bit on Milwaukee. No Damian Lillard there anymore. Got that nice matchup against Washington. He's at 5.6K. He was really good in the preseason too. Can never go wrong with Cade Cunningham. I think he's a little bit better of an option on DraftKings, but 10-1 should help curb that ownership a little bit. We have him at like 13% right now. And then again, with the Jaylen Brown thing, Peyton Pritchard could be interesting. Josh Giddey is a guy that I always like to play in tournaments, can fill up the stat sheet, can get you a triple-double every night. The guys that I don't know about are the Clippers. I mean, they have so many mouths to feed with this new roster that I don't know if I want to play James Harden and Kawhi Leonard in a potential blowout against the Jazz, who are already tanking. I mean, their win total is set at 18 games.
That was a record for quickest tanking ever. It's already happening.
A Jazz fan, yeah. So, yeah, a lot of good plays. I'm sure there's some that I missed, but, yeah, White's probably going to be my favorite, and then I like Porter and Cunningham quite a bit too.
Okay, very good. Beer, your thoughts at point?
Yeah, I like the Boston guys. Peyton Pritchard as well. Looks like the ownership's starting to kind of catch up here. You know, we're showing around 30% on FanDuel. Much easier to play on FanDuel, both of these guys, than they are on DraftKings. Not to say that you can't play them over there, but if White's out, you know, these two are going to soak up a ton of that usage. So agree with both of those. Want to add Peyton Pritchard to that as well. I agree on Cade Cunningham. I think he's in a good spot. Porter, I'm interested in. I really want to see, you know, is he going to play a boatload of minutes? We have him projected for about 28. His ownership is up there, so I know a lot of people excited about him. I don't know that I'll have as much. I think there's some decent pivots in that range at lower ownership. Guys like Jordan Poole looks pretty cheap on FanDuel at 6,200. I think Emmanuel Quickley is interesting at 6,300. I agree on the Josh Giddey call. If you're spending up, no Kobe White. I think he's in a good spot. And then Donovan Mitchell going to be very low owned tonight. So this is one of the, you know, there's a bunch of studs that aren't going to garner a ton of attention. I think he is super interesting. No Darius Garland. So, you know, that's more of the ball in his hands. That's a higher ceiling in my opinion. So I think Donovan Mitchell, a phenomenal tournament option tonight.
Okay, very good. Let's just roll it right into shooting guard from there, Beer, and you can keep going.
Shooting guard tonight, you know, there's some good value at this spot. Again, guys that I like that the ownership is kind of shot up throughout the day. I think Jalen Wells is an awesome option tonight, projecting very well for us. That team's going to need as much offense as it can get with some of the injuries they're dealing with. So he is super interesting tonight. My favorite is probably Cam Thomas, who's really popping in a lot of our optimal stuff, yet ownership really lagging behind here. And this guy just puts up. He's going to chuck. He's going to score. They're going to need him to do everything. So good matchup for him tonight with Charlotte. Dante DiVincenzo can be playable at both of these spots. So we're keeping an eye on Anthony Edwards if he's out, but DiVincenzo still should play a big role even if Edwards is out. So point guard, shooting guard, he's eligible at both. But Cam Thomas really jumps off the page for me tonight with this ownership.
Cam Thomas is my favorite player on the slate. So I thought I was being super sneaky about it. But who else on that team is going to score? Like he is the dude. He is the guy who's going to get points on that squad.
You're kind of sneaky. Like I said, he's only, you know, we're showing 7, 8, 9% ownership on him. Yeah. So a little surprised, but that's the beauty of a big slate. Things get spread out, and he's one that's just going to fall through the cracks tonight.
Yeah, love it. All right, very good. Noto, your thoughts there at shooting guard on FanDuel?
Yeah, I like the Cam Thomas call a lot. I mean, they have Michael Porter now, but he's not a guy that really creates his own shot. So got to think Cam Thomas is going to have really high usage rate, and he can just fill up the stat sheet. So I like him. If you're looking for some cheap minutes, Beer mentioned Jalen Wells. I think he's good. Grayson Allen, kind of in that same boat. Probably going to see around 30 minutes tonight at 4.3K. Again, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, you can use them at point guard or shooting guard. Now, the only other guy I wanted to bring up, Devin Booker, no longer has to play with Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal. So he's just going to be the main guy there in Phoenix. Nurkic isn't there anymore, and they get a pretty up-tempo matchup at home against the Kings. So I like Booker quite a bit. But, yeah, I'm kind of with you guys. Cam Thomas, let's go.
Booker, not someone I had considered, but now is someone I think I kind of want to get into my lineups. I think that's a good call. How about small forward? What are you doing there?
Yeah, I want to be early to Cooper Flag. 6K on FanDuel, mispricing there. He's probably the most mispriced guy over on FanDuel. So just going to lock him in. He was great in the preseason. Going to play minutes in the low to mid 30s. I like that game environment too against San Antonio. A lot of plays in that game. Outside of that, I don't have any super strong takes. I like Buzelis as a tournament play for the Bulls. He's a guy that I think is going to have a pretty big year. You can go with the cheap minutes guys that I talked about, a shooting guard and Grayson Allen, Jalen Wells, Kawhi Leonard. Again, I just don't know what to do with the Clippers here. I'm probably going to be underweight on Leonard and Harden, so I'm probably not going to play them. I'd like to play like Avdia, but man, 7.7K for him in a matchup against one of the best defensive teams in the Wolves is kind of scary. Jalen Johnson could be interesting. But yeah, I don't really love anyone at small forward outside of Cooper Flag.
Okay, very good. Beer, your thoughts there. By the way, we saw Cooper Flag is playing point, correct?
Yep.
Which, I mean, that's at the very least intriguing. Beer, your thoughts at small forward.
Yeah, his price, unfortunately, is one of those. It's just wrong. So cash games, you lock them in. Tournaments, I'm actually going to go a little bit underweight on Cooper Flag. I'll have some. It's just such a good price for him. And if he is going to be playing point guard like we expect, it's just his ball in his hands a ton. So he's a good cash option, solid tournament option. You got some nice value here with some of these Cleveland wings. Jalen Tyson expected to play some decent minutes. He's only 3,600. Sam Merrill, 3,700. We have him projected for 30 minutes. So some decent value there. But I really like the mid-range here. And Noto hit on Buzelis. He's a guy I'm very high on. I said in the six-pack today, he was one of the plays. I think this will probably be the floor of what his pricing is going to look like. I really expect him to take off this season. So he's a great play. I really like Michael Porter Jr. You're no longer Jokic, Murray, and that can be a hindrance as well. It was a great environment that he thrived in. Now, we talked about Cam Thomas. Those two are going to be taking an absolute boatload of shots in this Brooklyn offense. So I think he's a good play. And then I like some of these rookies, VJ Edgecombe. We're going to get them super cheap. Nobody's quite sure what to do yet. And, everyone's worried Embiid's playing, Maxi's playing. Well, Embiid's on a minutes limit. They don't have Paul George. This kid really showed out in the preseason. So I'd rather attack it early on while we have these cheap prices. So really like VJ Edgecombe tonight. I think Ace Bailey, a guy you can make the same case for with Utah. So this mid-range is really where I want to live here with guys like Porter and Buzelis. Quentin Grimes is too cheap as well. We add Wells in here. And then Terrence Shannon Jr., another guy I'm very high on this season. No Nickeil Alexander-Walker there. So I think he kind of steps into that role. And we still have Anthony Edwards questionable. Don't know if we've gotten any news on that. I don't think so. Nothing I've seen. I really like Terrence Shannon Jr. I don't think anyone's going to have him tonight. So whether you pivot to him later or you just play him outright, I think he's a great value here.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. Let's go to power forward, Beer. What do we got there?
Power forward. So some of these guys are carryovers. Obviously, you can use Cooper Flag here. Santi Aldama is very interesting for Memphis. They're missing a ton of big bodies here. His ownership's kind of dropped throughout the day. So he seems one that people were really excited about. And then as things open up, he's kind of faded away. So he's interesting. My favorite play on the slate, though, is Zion Williamson. Yeah. And I'm not going to give you the best shape of his life. And, you're going to hear enough about that. But
it worked.
But actually, it finally is real.
He is. So, this matchup, yes, Jaren Jackson Jr. is a phenomenal defender. See, I'm glad that you threw that up there. Thank you. I wanted to avoid that comment because that's all we've heard about. But again, they're down a lot of big bodies here. So, and he's too cheap. The price is on both sites. I think we'll get to DraftKings, but he is by far my favorite play. I think he's a phenomenal spend. we'll talk about the Wembys and Giannis's, and I want some of them as well. But Zion's projection is not far off of those guys, and you're saving a pretty big amount of money here. So he's going to be in a ton of my lineups tonight.
Okay, very good. Noto, your thoughts at power forward, and a quick note: Kalkbrenner is starting for the Hornets.
Yeah, so he's starting. We'll get to him on DraftKings, especially 3.2K.
Yep.
Then you got the Knicks center too at min salary, 3K starting. So yeah, some good values over there. I'm with you guys on Zion, man. He was awesome in the preseason. 2.13 fantasy points per minute on FanDuel scoring, and he was playing some decent minutes there in the preseason. They just don't really have all the stars that they used to. You know, Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum, no longer there. DeJounte Murray's out, so he's just going to dominate things, and that game's got a massive total. The Pelicans are projected to score 116 points. You don't get that very often. So, yeah, give me all the Zion. Outside of that, you have Cooper Flag, Giannis. I want to hear you guys' take on Giannis because, I mean, he projects so well, but I want to be underweight, and I don't really know why. I just kind of want to. Beer, do you have a take on Giannis?
See, I want to be overweight on him. If he's anytime I can get guys like this and Wembanyama in the same kind of breath, like they're low owned, like Roth said, they got 70, 80. There's not many guys that have this level of upside. And, you know, Washington generally been pretty bad on the interior. You take Damian Lillard out of there, I think he's going to smash tonight. So I would say I don't want to be underweight on Giannis tonight.
Yeah, now that we got the cheap centers, I might end up playing Giannis over Wembanyama. But yeah, other guys, I like the Aldama call. I don't think a lot of people are going to play him. And yeah, so many injuries there in that front court. And we talked about Buzelis. I think he's interesting. But Zion's kind of like my favorite play on the board.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the center spot on FanDuel. What are you doing there?
Yeah, much uglier spot on FanDuel than it is on DraftKings. I don't really love anybody. I mean, you can spend up on Anthony Davis, but I think there's other positions that I'd rather spend up on FanDuel. I like Aldama at 5,300. Yeah, I just don't really feel great about anyone here. So, Beard, help me out.
It's ugly, no doubt. I think both the Brooklyn guys are interesting with Claxton in a good matchup. Day'Ron Sharp is popping. I just worry about, is he going to get enough minutes for it to even matter? So, you know, when you're going against Wembanyama lineups and Embiid lineups and, you know, you're rolling in with Day'Ron Sharp, yes, it's going to open some other things up across your lineup. So I have some of him. Aldama fits here, like you mentioned. Khalil Ware is a guy like, and I hate the matchup. Yeah. I mean, Orlando is no joke. They're one of the best defensive teams in the league, but no Tyler Hero tonight. You know, this is going to be an offense that kind of runs through their bigs and Norman Powell. So Ware is super cheap here, was questionable all throughout the day. So he's a guy having a bunch of lineups. Have some Evan Mobley is interesting, but he's showing some ownership. I think Porzingis is interesting as well. And that's pretty much Jalen Duren, the other guy, I think, against Chicago. You know, as good as Vooch is not a guy that really wants to bang, and I think Jalen Duren can put up a double-double.
Yeah. A note that Ware isn't starting. This is according to Alex in the chat. Does that change anything? Because I also was on Ware.
I mean, it's a little concerning, but I still think he's going to play a decent role here tonight. So we'll keep an eye on the minutes projection for him. You know, I don't know if this has to do with the injury or the matchup or what it has to do with. So if the minutes start dropping, I may pivot, but I still think at this price, even in this matchup, he's got a lot of upside.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Want to kick it over to DraftKings, of course, where I am the leading scorer of all of DraftKings so far this season. If you tally up all of the slates so far, I am your leading scorer on DK. Also want to make sure you're getting some of the best deals in the industry. We've got that at RotoGrinders. A lot of people, of course, still grind in NFL because that's the thing to do. And if you want some NFL DFS access, you get more bang for your buck with Combo Pro. You're already into the hoop scene. You tie in some NFL, you tie in some hockey, CSGO or whatever these, you know, we got all the sports, everything you could want. And for a limited time, you get your first month of Combo Pro for $79.99. It's only $5 more than if you're just paying for NFL. So make sure you're doing that. Got some elite value going on right now. Let's talk about DK and Beer. I'll let you lead us off. I'm struggling at guard more than I am elsewhere, maybe even shooting guard in particular. But I need your help at guard on DK Beer.
DK is definitely tougher tonight. We talked about the Boston guys. It's just so much easier to play them over on FanDuel. The prices are more appealing. It looks like Jaylen Brown is playing, so it takes a little bit of the shine off, especially on DraftKings at these prices. So I think Josh Giddey, a phenomenal play here. He's only a little bit more expensive than he is on FanDuel. We mentioned no Kobe White, so if I'm spending, it's probably him, or if you can get up to Cade Cunningham. I'm gonna, another guy, Walter Clayton Jr., who we loved at the University of Florida. Noto knows this. Utah is not interested in winning. They're interested in let's just cycle through and see what we have. What kind of talent do we have here? So it's going to be frustrating. They're going to spread the minutes out to a lot of guys, but $3K for him. And we know this kid is battle tested. So I think he's a value if you need it. PJ Washington, obviously the value that we don't need to spend a ton of time on, but I think Clayton is interesting as well. And then one guy I didn't bring up in the FanDuel section, but I think it's playable on both sites. Dyson Daniels just does so many different things on the court. And Jalen Johnson's back, so they don't need his offense as much, but between the rebounds, the steals, the blocks, the assists, he can rack things up pretty quickly. So I like Dyson Daniels tonight at some low ownership.
Good stuff. Noto, your thoughts at point?
Yeah, I love Cade Cunningham on DraftKings, a guy that just dominates whenever Jaden Ivey's out. He dominates just all the time. Can fill up the stat sheet. Good matchup against the Bulls. They like to push the ball, and they don't care about playing any defense. So my favorite play by far. I do like Booker, too, as kind of a lower-owned pivot there. Again, I'm going to be underweight on Harden. And I think I'm just going to look to play some of the values elsewhere. Looks like Jalen Tyson is going to start for Cleveland, which we'll get to here in a sec. So I think that's interesting. And do you guys remember another opening night where there's so many injuries? Like, it feels like we're in the middle of the season. This is wild.
It's brutal.
All right. Well, let's go to shooting guard, which is the spot I'm struggling. I've got a lot of Davion Mitchell, and I don't know if I want a lot of Davion Mitchell.
No.
So I need help.
Am I starting it off?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I mean, he was the guy that he had like 25 plus fantasy points in like 12 straight games at the end of last year. So, I mean, he doesn't have the worst floor, but I don't think he has much of a ceiling in this spot. Shooting guard, I don't know. If you can get to Derek White, I don't mind that. I like Kevin Porter, like I mentioned. I just built a lineup that I'm loving. Let me see who was in there. One sec. Anyway, throw it back to Beer. Get back to me.
Beer, I've got some Champagny. I don't like that. I've got Davion Mitchell. I've got some VJ Edge. I don't love what I'm doing in this cheaper range at shooting guard. What should I be doing?
I mean, do we have Cam Thomas in the lineup?
Well, yes. I got plenty
pops
of him.
over here. Okay, so
I got plenty of him.
He pops over here as well. Yeah. So he's probably my favorite on both sides. Mitchell's fine. I mean, again, I'm with Noto. The upside is kind of what I worry about. So, this is the least exciting position. I'll say that. So your struggles, it really makes sense why. But I do like Thomas. I think he's interesting. Tyson is good value. We have a pretty good minutes projection on him. So, maybe you save some money there with the old double punt. Him and PJ Washington's really going to open even more salary for you. And Donovan Mitchell, again, I think it's going to be low owned on both sites here tonight. And it's a big game. I mean, Cleveland, New York, two best teams in the East, in my opinion. I think Donovan Mitchell, this ownership is a mistake on him.
Okay. I got a little bit of Tyson and was able to get to Booker at point. I like that. Got off of a little bit of Derek White onto a little bit of Booker, and I am happy with that. Let's go to small forward. Beer, what are we doing there?
PJ Washington.
Yeah.
End of story.
And let's talk about that in tournaments. Like, let's say this guy comes in at 80%, I don't know, 70, 80% ownership. Is there a path to fading him, or do you just take the 20 plus points at 3K and say, that's what I want?
There's a path, but you're really going like way off the beaten path. I just don't see how he's not in the optimal lineup. Anything can happen. We know that, but even at what we're showing, I believe 79%, to 20% of people, you're already behind the 8 ball before we even start. You're behind the 8 ball. So I get the argument of it, like, 80% of people are going to be on him. This isn't your ordinary 3K guy. This is a guy that's he's gonna put up numbers. So I find it hard to believe you're making a lineup on DraftKings without him. Again, anything can happen, but to me, he's just a lock, and you move on.
Yeah. Okay. Noto, you doing the same thing there at small forward?
Yeah, lock in Washington, move on. For tournaments, I mean, Cooper Flagg's a great play on DraftKings. If you were worried about the ownership on FanDuel, we have him at 8% over on DraftKings. So he's going to play point, going to play big minutes. I like that. But I would play him, alongside Washington. I wouldn't look to pivot away. Jalen Tyson, who we talked about. I mean, I don't know how secure his minutes are, but he's starting. That certainly helps. And, he's going to get the first crack at it at 3.2K. I like that. I was on Scotty Barnes early in the day, but I just haven't found any lineups with him just yet. And then everyone else is just kind of like good plays on most slates, but probably not on this slate.
Yeah. Okay. That brings us to power forward. No, wait. Yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Noto, what do you like?
Lock in Zion. 8.9K is way too cheap. We like him over on FanDuel, so we're going to like him even more here. We haven't projected for 47 fantasy points, and I think there's room for more than that tonight in this matchup. PJ Washington's there too. You can play Giannis. You can play all three of them. The lineup that I have right now has all kinds of values and studs. It's got Giannis, Cade Cunningham, and Zion, and then just a bunch of 3K guys. Oh, and Cam Thomas, and then a bunch of 3K guys. Like, it's the lineup that I feel pretty good about. I think that's the way to build over on DraftKings. Again, you can play Cooper Flag. I don't think Anthony Davis is going to get super steamed tonight, even though he's projecting well. I just think people are going to want to click the bigger names tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's fair. I'm looking at my DK lineup that's up right now. Cade, Wemby, Zion. Like, you can really you can get three legitimate superstars. And it's not very hard. Beer, who is Ben Saraf? Because apparently he's starting. And what are your thoughts at power forward in general?
Ben Saraf. Noto, you know that one?
Ben Saraf and Con Knuppel are starting in that game.
I know Con Knuppel. He's a Wisconsin guy. I played against his older brother. Fun fact. So way back in the day. So I'm familiar with him. I don't know who Ben Saraf is.
Well,
I mean, Steve, we appreciate you saying young guy on Brooklyn. We assumed he was a young guy.
That's what I figured. I mean, Brooklyn's got a bunch.
I think
of
he wasn't a college player. I think he was from Israel.
Okay.
Ooh.
Well, there you go.
Well, now I'm intrigued. Yes, I don't know why that matters to me, but all right. What are we doing at power forward?
So Zion over here still to play. I mean, you're going to get a lot more ownership on these higher end guys here. The Giannis's are going to be much more owned with all the value over here on DraftKings. So. But there is some good value. I want to go to Zion, but I still like Buzelis over here. I still like Michael Porter Jr. over here, Porzingis. So it's a lot of similar names at this position from FanDuel. One guy we didn't bring up, Yabusele, is now with the Knicks. Karl Anthony Towns expected to play, but what does that look like? They're down Mitchell Robinson. They're down Josh Hart. So Yabusele, a guy we didn't mention on FanDuel, but I think he is playable. Both on FanDuel and on DraftKings tonight.
Yeah. Okay. Noto, your thoughts? I guess we're in center actually now. Beer, what are we doing there?
Center. Well, you mean you got some value opening up here? Huck Porty with the Knicks. So you got Kalkbrenner with Charlotte. Both of them projected for a low 20s minutes. So I don't know that they have enough upside to end up in an optimal lineup. I think this is a position you spend up a little bit more. You can go to a guy like Nick Claxton is 5,500. Charlotte has always been a good matchup for centers here. I think Walker Kessler, another Utah guy, is going to be low tonight. So he's interesting. And then we're getting Wemby, surprisingly, still under 10%. So I don't know where everyone is spending their money with all the savings on PJ Washington, but a 9% Victor Wembanyama, sign me up for that.
Yeah. In agreement. Noto, your thoughts?
Yeah, Wemby was in my lineup before the news with these cheap centers starting. Huck Porty, Kalkbrenner. I don't know. Like, yeah, we might not know what their upside is. They might not play a ton of minutes, but I mean, if they got off to good starts, I think they're certainly capable of playing 25 plus minutes. Huckporty's got the tougher matchup, but yeah, we know Thibodeau doesn't mind running his guys into the ground. So I don't know. I like both the cheap guys. They're both in my main lineup right now. But yeah, Wemby at less than 10% feels a lot like Şengün last night at less than 10%.
Yeah. Okay. Very good, guys. Let's open it up to some questions, and maybe I'll do your favorite play of the night. Although I feel like we're on Zion and Cam. We're like my two favorites.
We can give some outside of Zion and Cam love.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's do it. Let's dive in. Outside of Zion, Cam, maybe something else that's, super like PJ Washington. Give me your favorite play here, your favorite GPP play, Beer, that you feel like this is the guy who's going to win you a tournament tonight.
I'm going to say, and we didn't even bring him up, surprisingly. It kind of shows the depth at the position, but Ja Morant. I have a lot of him tonight. I don't think he's going to have a lot of ownership. People are, what's this going to look like? Is he fully healthy? He's got a big time ceiling. So if he's going to be low owned, he's a guy I've crammed into a bunch of lineups. So I'll say Ja.
Okay, very good. Noto, who's the guy that you think is going to take down a tournament for you?
It's close. I'm going to say I'll go Cade Cunningham.
Ben Sharaf.
Yeah, let's go. Okay. Well, I just finished up my lineups, which is good because we still have 10 minutes until we get to lock. Jumping in the Discord, that is where the cool kids hang out, and that's where you get your questions answered first. If you haven't hit thumbs up yet and you're watching on YouTube, please do. It's free content, and the idea is that we get more and more eyeballs every day. That only happens if you're hitting the like, interacting, doing all those things. So please hit that like and subscribe for us so we can keep this content free all day long. Let's see what we've got. Scrolling up, Mobley or Embiid in a DK GPP. Noto, I got rid of all my Embiid because of the minutes restriction, but I'm going to be really pissed if he plays 32 minutes.
I still think he can get to 28 to 30. I'll take Embiid. And yeah, I did mention Tibbs as a coach for the Knicks. My bad, Mike Brown. I'm talking about 4 sports right now. It's a
yes.
time over
You're
here.
good.
There's a lot.
Good.
There's a lot going on. Let's see what we got. Scrolling down. FanDuel single entry. Beer, this one's for you. Cunningham and Duren, or Derek White and Zion?
I'm gonna go with I love Zion so much. I'm gonna go with Derek White and Zion, but I do like that other combo. Will probably be lower owned.
Yeah. Okay. FanDuel GPP, Beer. How many spend ups in FanDuel on DraftKings? You can get 3. What about FanDuel?
I think you can get 3 on FanDuel as well. There's not quite as much obvious value. We don't obviously have the PJ Washington over here, but you have guys like DiVincenzo that's cheap. I mentioned Shannon is cheap. We have Tyson as a value. So there is, a lot of value over here as well. So 3 is possible, not as easy as it is on DraftKings, but you can certainly pull it off. Especially, I consider Zion in that same range with these other guys, and he's not costing that price. So make sure he's a part of that.
Yep, agreed. Let's see. Test says Noto, 8-7 or under in a DK GPP. So it's util, can be any position, 8-7 or less. Who's your guy?
All right. Let's go.
I mean, the Embiid is 8-7.
Yeah. I mean, I would honestly try to work things around, get up to Zion if you can, 8-9.
Yeah. Okay.
But if you have to, I guess I'll go Derek White.
Can we play some Towns? Because I do have a little bit of Towns. You got any issues with that, Noto?
I don't know. I'm not a huge Towns guy on big slates, but you can.
All right. I am. So
I think you can. I think Mitchell Robinson hinders him a little bit. So without him, there's more rebounding opportunities available. So you just worry. He comes in banged up, and are they going to limit him? We got the old limits, and we don't know what the limits are.
Yeah.
So, but it's also going to keep his ownership down. So tough matchup though. And Cleveland Bigs are no joke.
How do you go from questionable to doubtful to questionable to probable in like 4 hours?
That happened quick too. I mean,
Yeah. That
it
is
was
a little
crazy.
concerning. How much? Oh, here we go. DKGPP, Noto, Tyson or Shannon?
Ooh, I like Tyson, but man, Shannon can put up some points quickly.
Yeah. Okay. DKGPP Beer, how much Booker exposure do you have? I just got a little bit. Do you have any?
I don't have much, and it's, again, we mentioned it's tough to get to everybody, and this is one of those plays that's going to fall through the cracks. Everyone's excited about Grayson Allen. He's going to be pretty highly owned, so he's got the same level of upside as a lot of these other guys we talked about. So I will be underweight, and it's a scary position.
Yep. Wells Beer or Edgecombe? FanDuel Cash. Thank you. Wells or Edgecombe?
I think Wells is safer in cash. In tournaments, I would go with Edgecombe. He's got a ceiling. I don't know what we're going to see out of him, and he's going to be way less owned. But Wells is certainly the better cash game play.
Okay. DKGPP, Noto, right back to you. Derek White or Barnes?
I like Derek White.
Yeah. FanDuel single entry, Noto, Jock or Eubanks? And then there's a follow-up, but we'll start there.
I mean, I guess Jock. I don't have a strong take there.
Yeah. And then could you rank DiVincenzo, Allen, and Wells, Noto? DiVincenzo, Allen, and Wells.
I'll go Wells, Allen, then DiVincenzo.
All right. Scrolling up just a little bit in the chat, the YouTube chat, where I'm sure everybody's hitting the thumbs up already. Here we go. Beer Greg says Ja and Flag or White and Porter Jr.
That's good. A lot of guys I like in there. I'm going to say Ja and Flag, but 4 guys I really like there.
Yeah, right. The other side is not wrong either.
No,
for sure.
that was damn close.
Yeah. We'll go to Tina's question. Beer, top point guard on DK for a GPP 5,200 and less.
5,200 or less. Point guard, you said?
Yep.
All right, let's see what we got here. DK 52. This is tough. I have a little bit of Gillespie. I mean, he's well below that threshold.
Punt it down to a 3K guy.
Your boy Davion might be the option here. Clayton is interesting at 3K.
Yeah.
Ben Saraf, who we just learned about, is 4,300. So I would either go down further to answer the question or try to get up a little bit. It's kind of a dead zone in that part.
Okay, that's fair. We have more questions coming in. We were less than 5 minutes until lock. I want everyone know that if you want to check out our NFL DFS tools without paying for a whole season or for a whole month, you can do it. Limited time offer, half off of a 3-day NFL pass. You get access to everything you need: optimizer, lineup HQ, player projections, ownership percentages, SimLabs, NFL. You get all of that for $9.99. So if you just want to sample, just check things out, you can do that as well. And that is a limited time offer with the 3-day pass promo. So make sure you're getting that done. And now is a pretty good time to do it because you get Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You'll get some info all the way into the weekend, essentially. Okay. Noto, your favorite shooting guard on FanDuel in the 7K-ish range.
Don't even have their salaries pulled up. Let Beer answer this one.
Yep,
7K.
7K shooting guard on FanDuel.
Looking through my lineups to see who I have the most of there. It's probably Cam Thomas at 7K. Have a lot of Derek White in the shooting guard at 76, so a little bit more expensive. And I have a decent amount of Dyson Daniels as well. So probably White and Cam Thomas are my 2 favorites in that range.
Okay. And then we want to help our guy Jim out. He says, hey, I've got 3,200 left on DK in the util. I've already got PJ. And we mentioned some of these other dudes who are, right around that range. Do we have a favorite cheapie? There's a few. I don't know. Noto, do you have a favorite cheapie? Let's say.
I'm going to go Jalen Tyson. Man, every time I refresh the projections, it just gets better and better for this dude. I don't know. You can play him as shooting guard and small forward, 2 positions that are typically harder to fill.
Yeah.
So I'll go with him.
Beer, do you have a different favorite cheapie outside of PJ Washington? And I mean
No,
cheap.
It would be Tyson for me as well. Kalkbrenner is interesting. We'll see. They're going to need a big man with no Mark Williams. So is it him? Is it Diabate? Is it both of them? So he's a good option. And Walter Clayton Jr., I think maybe plays a little bit more than we have projected tonight.
Okay. Beer, thoughts on Nigel Hayes Davis of the Suns?
The Suns are ugly, so I will tell you I don't have any. I have a little bit of Booker, and I have some Grayson Allen, and outside of that, I don't have much exposure to Phoenix.
Okay. Luke says if Milwaukee plays a fast one and we can't play Giannis was confirmed in, correct?
Yeah, he's good to go.
So we should be all right there. Any Utah players? Noto, that's your squad. Anyone on Utah that you're interested in?
Here's the problem: when they play well, they're just going to get taken out. No, we can't be having wins on the team. So no, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to play anybody from Utah, but there's some interesting plays if you're building multiple lineups.
I have some Clayton, some Ace Bailey, and some Walker Kessler. So not a ton, a little smattering, but I think those are the 3 I'm the most interested in.
Okay. Showboat King says if he needs to make a trip to Utah to take Noto to a Jazz game in 2026. Are you in, I don't know, what is it, Salt Lake City? Where are the Jazz?
Yeah, Salt Lake. I'm like 30 minutes south of Salt Lake.
All right,
so,
Showboat King.
do
There
it.
you go. Can make it
Let's do
happen. Any interest for Drew Holiday? Good spot with a new team. I don't know. I never play that dude. Beer?
Yeah, I bet him earlier, points, rebounds, and assists. So I like him a little bit more in the betting market. I think that number's a little bit too low. I think he is playable. He'll rank behind a lot of different guys, but I landed on him in a few lineups.
Okay. We are 1 minute until lock. We have so many questions. I'm sorry we couldn't get to them all. Just scrolling down a little bit. This is a
Rapid fire.
It really is. 3v3 Noto. Cade Merrill Towns or Giddey Grayson Zion, FanDuel GPP. Cade
Number
Merrill
2,
Towns,
number 2
Grayson
for sure.
Zion. Yeah.
Shout out to the chat. Very, very active today.
Love to see it. DK Cash, Cade or AD? It's got to be Cade, right?
I'd say Cade.
That's for me,
Yeah. FanDuel single entry Beer, Buzelis or Pritchard?
2 guys out of the 6-pack today. I'm going to go Buzelis. I still like Pritchard, but Jaylen Brown being in puts a little bit of a damper, and I really like Buzelis. I think he's too cheap.
Okay. Gentlemen, we have hit the lock. Hopefully, we did all the things. We didn't even talk about who's the guy in the Magic that I love. Not Boncaro, but the other one.
Wagner?
Yes.
We got Desmond Bain there too, so that's.
Oh, I forgot about how that might shake things up a little bit.
And it's Miami. It's kind of an ugly game.
Yeah. All right. Maybe there will be a better opportunity later in the season.
Yes.
Okay. Whew. Well, we did the things we came here to do. We gave the plays, we answered the questions, and we gave them the best deal in the industry. Now I'm going to win another tournament with a higher return.
Yes,
this time around.
Please, Roth, get in these. There's some cheap, bigger contests. A couple more dollars.
We're going to bounce on out of here, but I hope you guys have a good time enjoying some NBA, and best of luck to you all. For Noto, for Beer, for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you, and we will catch you tomorrow. You have been crazy.